How's everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well. I'm on my way to a dermatology appointment, everyone. I talk about a lot of topics on my channel. Lately, I've been doing things on Social Security. I've gotten some more subscribers. Thank you so much if you subscribed recently. I'm glad some of the topics have resonated. Everyone, I got approved for survival benefits recently. Remarry after you're 60, it doesn't impact the survivor benefit. Now, that's my understanding. I am very content in my singleness. I enjoy my peace so much that if I had to choose between marrying and having my peace, I would choose peace. You can't put a price on it. I know of people within my family that remarried after 60. And I'm thinking, like, would I ever entertain that? Every time I think of a most ideal life, right now, I picture myself single. And let me be clear about this. If I do any dating, it's going to be with intention to get married. Which is why if someone were to ask me for dinner or anything or spend time, I guess I'm old-fashioned. I probably would ask what the intention. So if that were to mean that I would be single forever, that I would not remarry, I'm completely okay with that. And I'm not interested in being anyone's sugar mama either, because that's another group right there. That's one reason I kind of let my gray hair come in, because when I was dyeing my hair, I started attracting men that wanted like a sugar mama. I don't know. You've heard of sugar daddy? Sugar mama. So I'm like, no, I don't want that. Right now I'm waiting because there's some construction. I should have went another way. But anyway. Then, first of all, you have, these are the things I've encountered. Men that have kind of fetishized black women, okay? That's not exclusively of any, well, let me just say that. These are people that are not blackity black. And then I have encountered black men that fetishize black women that are of a certain melanation, okay? Some years ago, I had not heard of this, but I had somebody, this was when I was in my 20s, they're like, ooh, I love red bones. And I had never heard of that phrase. I'm just like, what is that? And at that time, I was dating my late husband, and I went to him and I said, what does that mean? And he thought that was so funny that I had never heard of that, because that's just not the kind of language I grew up with. So that was the first time that I really knew of the fetishization. And I love my people. I love black people. I love dark brown skin. I love my people. And I truly believe that black is beautiful in all the complexions, okay? So, but anyway, enough of that, because y'all don't get offended. The next type of man that was interested was, I'm a nurse, okay? So I encountered some men that were fetishizing, I don't even know if I'm saying the word, nurses, and they think of the nurses with the costume at the costume place with the naughty nurse. That's what they have in their head. Boy, if you could see some nurses' legs and the condition of their legs from standing up all the time, and they just have this image of a nurse, like that naughty nurse that's portrayed in like around Halloween with the costumes. So you deal with those kind of people. Now that could happen with men that are nurses too. There's some other type of men, or men that they had a good woman, okay? They had a good woman and they messed up. Or maybe they just didn't, something brought them to the point that they were alone, okay? For whatever circumstance, maybe they got done wrong. But I'm going to talk about the ones that had wonderful women and they messed up. They messed up a good thing. And they get to the point when they're at a certain age and they don't want to die alone. They want someone that's going to be a companion, fix their food. This one man, like, I just want somebody that will fix my food and watch TV with me. And there was this other black brother. This was at a bank. We was in line. And this man, you're beautiful, you're this, you're this, you're this. He looked like he was broken down. When I tell you, he looked like a whole train wreck. And there was this man that was behind him, and he got so mad. And he said he can go home and fix his own blankety blank food. I'm not playing the race card. It just happens to be that I live in a part of Atlanta that is predominantly black, okay? And I identify as a black woman, so these things are conversations. It's relevant, okay? Those are the type of men that I've encountered. Now, there's this other man. I won't say where I encountered him, and he's just broken down. I mean, it seemed like he married someone. I guess his wife passed away. She was in another country, child. I don't know what the circumstance. And then he comes to me and he's like, can I talk to you about dealing with grieving? I told my mama about it, and I said, sir, normally when people want to get ministered to within the faith community, you get ministered to by another man. So I let the pastor know, because pastor is a family friend. And I told my mom, and she's like, child, I said, I just said he needs to speak to a man to get ministered to. Not too long after my husband passed away. Now this was the experience I had. Now I was in my 40s and I was pretty cute, had a nice little shape and stuff. I was cute. I think that if I was going to marry, that probably would have been the time I was more likely to marry, but I just was focused on my kids. Once I became widowed, there was men that knew my late husband that started reaching out to me. I'm not in touch with any of them, but there was one in particular. One of them reached out, and it was truly innocent. We haven't really talked since then. He was a dear friend of my husband. He was believe in our wedding, okay? And he's married, had children. He's like, reach out if you need anything, if you thank you so much. The second one, I think that they were interested in pursuing something because they had been in a bad marriage. So we spoke a couple times, and basically that was it. Again, a nice person, but my mom is like, that man is trying to flirt with you. And I don't know why I don't necessarily see stuff like that. I'm glad I have a lot of truth tellers in my life. Okay. And somebody said, don't be surprised if there's men that your husband knew that'll reach out and try and flirt with you. And I just like, really? So anyway, that happened. That was in my 40s. The other thing that happened, Now, after my husband passed away, you typically, when you have young minor children, you can generally get survivor benefits. So I knew this other gentleman. There are people that are opportunists. And this person was kind of looking at me, and I'm like, ooh, that's like, it wasn't a intimate thing, like they're attracted to you in an intimate way, but it was like they were sizing me up. I'll try not to say too much because sometimes people watch this on that I go to church with, but the person was sizing me up. And I said, that's weird. I'm going to watch out for them. And then my mom came and said, ooh, I saw something in church. And I said, was it such and such person looking at me? She goes, yeah, they were just looking at you. And I said, sizing up for an opportunity for income. So it was either like they were looking for financial opportunity. So what I'm going to say is that pendulum will swing one way or another. That approach ended up biting them in the figurative behind. Okay, karma, whatever you want to call it. Remarriage. When you're older, if you have adult children and you're marrying someone else, I mean, for me personally, everything I have will go to my children. That's what the will says, the trust says, etc., etc. There would have to be a prenuptial agreement or something before the marriage. But my kids, I'm their only living parent, so it would be very important that they benefit from my work. You all let me know what you think about that. One thing I pay attention to. Now, there's this person I know that's single, okay? So the whole family knows this person, and this isn't someone that I go to church with. This isn't someone that anyone, because people, when they start, well, who is it? It doesn't matter. Pay attention to the story. This person will ask me all kind of questions about what's going on with me and family and my children, and they have a great admiration for my children, which is a pretty good quality when you get someone that really has respect for your children. And this person never talks about their child. Okay, they never talk about their child. They'll ask a bunch of questions about my children. And again, they have a lot of respect, but they never talk about their child. And one day, I mean, they were talking. Then finally, I said, look it. How goes it with your child, your children? Is it well with them? Are they working? Are they in school? Do they have a trade? Are they with you? Have they branched out? And then they began to talk about it, and it sounded like they weren't necessarily pleased with their progress. And there were some other things said that I don't want to, because I'm not knocking this person. If that person is exhibiting symptoms where they're not even talking about their child, that's a bit of a red flag with me. And that's a definite red flag for me, because if I were to marry them and they don't talk about their child and the child is in their household, would I be a person that's going to have to deal with their adult child while they go off in la la land? Okay, they have a lot of great qualities. They have a lot of great qualities. But that one flag, okay? So what I'm saying is, if you remarry, you're going to have to deal with a lot of other things. And it's different when you're young. If you're young and you're in your 20s, let's just say you were married before and you had other children, you all marry, and then you have children together. It's a little bit of a different dynamic. Yeah. And this can be for men too, okay? I mean, a man can be married and want to make sure that they leave everything for their children. There's one person I'm thinking of that has a husband, and it's a remarriage. And this husband is being very intentional about their will and whose name is on the stuff to assure that it gets to their children, whatever. So this second wife has expressed concern about it. But my thing is, those are the things you have to talk about before you get married. And this person is like, well, everything is going to go to the children. And I'm thinking in my head, good job for him. He was very clear what you're there for. He wanted a companion. There are women that they want to have some financial security. They want to get everything they can out of that man. The way this woman talks about this man is almost if they're waiting for the figurative body to drop. I think with me, because I was a solo parent and I had to spend so much time pouring into my children and pouring into them and pouring into them and pouring into them and pouring into them, I don't necessarily know if right now I have the capacity to pour into someone else a husband, because there is a certain amount of deference and consideration of the other person. And I know what type of person I am. You know, when I love someone and I'm devoted to them. And so while the idea of having companionship and having someone to be able to travel and to be like a main person, except, you know, God would be first, of course, I don't know if it would be worth it, you know, to remarry when right now I have peace. And some people say, well, you're set in your ways. I mean, that may or may not be true, but I have a lot of other considerations in terms of my free time, my health, that I would consider. And if they had another child that had issues, I would have to be dealing with that too. And do I truly want to deal with anybody else's kids? My hat's off to anyone that remarries somebody that has children and you're in relationship with them and supporting them as their own. I don't know. I know that I could step up to that, but do I really want to do that at this point of having raised my kids and for the first time having some amount of free time? Like, I would have to think about when I go off. I don't have to think about answering anyone other than to tell my kids, look, I do make sure that they know what my plan is, the area I'm gonna be in, etc. But I might want to just get up and do something spontaneously. I don't know if I would be able to do that if I was married. By the way I talk to my mom, she's always talking about considering my dad, and he's a wonderful man. But like, would I want that? Would I want to be thinking about fixing dinner for somebody? If I come in, I can have a salad or just have some fruit and not be thinking about what someone else wants to eat. I don't know, guys. I think it's been such a while since I have been unmarried. I don't know if I would necessarily want to deal with that. So, But the idea of love, I love the idea of love. And when people say that they're going to be married, I'm just like, Yahoo, what can I do for the wedding? At church, I've been a wedding planner, gone shopping with friends for wedding gowns. I'm generally happy for them. I mean, it's like it's a celebration. Am I willing to take on those sacrifices that deal with marriage in order to get the benefits of marriage? I think at this point, I like the ideas of the benefits of marriage, but the self-sacrifice, so I guess I've given myself an answer, everyone. So let me know what you think.